Hola, Señor Howard here. Every day in class I speak to you only in Spanish, but for this short video and writing prompt, I'll be speaking to you in English. But don't worry, soon enough this video will be done and we'll be back to Spanish only. Speaking of Spanish only, I have a story for you about Italian only. Back around when you were born, I planned to travel to Italy with my wife. And all my friends said, Italy, cool, that will be easy for you. You're a Spanish teacher, and Spanish is close to Italian, right? So traveling in Italy will be a breeze for you. You will practically understand everything. Understand everything? Nope, that's not what it was like for me. I was on this Italian train, and sitting across from me was a 50-ish-year-old Italian lady. I think she knew I was a foreign tourist because she gave me that pleasant smile that says, yeah, you don't look like you're from around here at all, and if I try to greet you like I would greet a normal Italian, you won't even understand anything that I'm saying. So I'm not greeting you in Italian. And instead, I'll use this polite, pleasant, you're a foreigner smile instead of speaking a greeting to you. But I found out soon that she couldn't contain herself. She had something that she wanted to tell me. She didn't speak a word of English, and I barely knew only a few words in Italian. Scusi, she said, which I was pretty sure meant excuse me. And then she said a string of sentences in Italian that absolutely did not compute in my non-Italian brain. When she saw my blank stare and knew that I didn't understand her, she tried speaking more slowly, thinking that her statements would make sense to me if she just slowed down a bit. Nothing though. Still a blank stare from me. So she tried saying less words in Italian, and I felt pressure. I mean, I'm a foreign language teacher, right? I should be able to make this work. Me, a professionally trained language teacher. But, ugh, I had nothing. It was so frustrating. I knew she wanted to tell me something important to her. It had to be important if she kept on trying to help me understand. I felt so dumb. Like not even 2 or 3 slowly spoken Italian words were making any sense to me. So we eventually found a map, she and I, a map of Venice, because that's where the train was going to, that world-renowned city of canals and waterways. She pointed to a church on the map of Venice. She pointed and pointed again and again to the church, and we even circled it on the map. And then she said some Italian numbers. I did know some Italian numbers, so I was starting to try to put the pieces together. And then it hit me. I think she wanted me to show up at this church on the map at a certain time of day. I nodded my head yes tentatively and got off at our train stop. And our last glance at each other was a wondering kind of glance, wondering if what she tried to communicate was really sinking in my head or not. I decided to go with what I think she said. At the time that I think she told me in Italian, I went to that church that she circled on the map. And guess what? The whole Catholic church lobby was set up with original pieces of artwork with Italian artists standing by their masterpieces on display. Italian men and women were milling about, enjoying the artwork. And there, in the second row of artwork, was the lady from the train. Oh man, just pure delight. There was so much happiness all over her face and mine as our feeble attempts to understand each other actually succeeded. We greeted each other with a cheek-to-cheek kiss on both sides of the face, which is very typical in Europe. and she started rattling off a ton of exciting sentences and expressions as she pointed to the artwork that she painted. It was all in Italian. She was bubbling over with excitement. I, of course, couldn't understand anything of what she was saying, but I did understand this. She was proud, an accomplished artist with her art on display, and two strangers from the USA, my wife and I, had come to enjoy her work. I'll never forget it. So, how about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you had to interact with someone, but you didn't know each other's language? And a second question, what has it felt like for you to be in Synod Howard's Spanish-only environment so far this school year in my class? Please answer with complete sentences. Tell me using details. When you're writing about what it feels like to be in Synod Howard's Spanish-only classroom, tell me some memories. What do you remember happening on the first day of Spanish class? What goes through your head when you come to my class from the hallways and I stop you at the door and speak to you in Spanish? What have you told your friends and family about my class so far? Share with at least 2 paragraphs. Thanks for writing that. Please put your finished paper in section 2 of your Spanish class binder. Every marking period, I will collect your binders and check to make sure you have all these things completed and organized in your binder. Before we move on, I'd like to tell you something new we will be trying. Sticking to Spanish only in my class is important. It's so important for our success this year that I'm going to give you a grade once every marking period based on how well you help our class to stay in Spanish only. For a major, I will start everyone in the class off with an 88B for a major. Then, if you try using Spanish in class, if you repeat Spanish words that you remember learning from other classes, if you use Google Translate as a tool to help you express your needs or questions to me instead of asking me in English, then you will gain points and earn up to a 100 as a major. But if you blurt things out in class in English so that everyone can hear you say something in English, I will keep track and it will lower your grade for that major. By the way, it's okay to whisper things in a low voice in English to friends during class, but please avoid blurting things out in English so that everyone can hear. I'll keep track on Class Dojo. Track your points gained and lost. You can track your points gained and lost by going to your dashboard on student.classdojo.com. And if you have any questions or concerns, or if you disagree with your point tally, please come and see me during SMART or email me at choward@cctechnj.org. I'm happy that we get to be on this language learning journey together. It's a gift to have you in my class.